Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for October 20, 2022, the Lamentable edition. We begin with that story from Reuters as Goldman Sachs responds to a whistleblower claim. And Goldman Sachs' response is that it is both cynical and lamentable. The bank said the claims by Thomas Doyle are scarcely believable. And my favorite statement is that Goldman alleges Doyle made, quote, no real protected disclosures, end quote. So what on earth does that mean? So another whistleblower attacked for bringing suit. Perhaps it'll end, perhaps not. Next up from the Financial Times, unfortunately behind a firewall if you're trying to check it out, but very troubling article by the FT on the plight of expat workers at KPMG in Saudi Arabia. The article says that the employment practices engaged in by KPMG Saudi Arabia are alleged to be unethical and are commonplace and have left expatriate staff, quote, fearing for their personal safety and struggling with their mental health, end quote. So this obviously not good. KPMG, of course, will claim it's not us. It's our unaffiliated subsidiary or something. But another incredibly bad black eye for KPMG, who really seems to not be able to get a handle on corporate culture, and just bad news all the way around. Next up, from the Washington Post, Vietnam has yet another anti-corruption fight going on, and the Communist Party chief has said his anti-graft campaign is a blazing furnace that caught hundreds of senior officials, business executives, and others in its wake. While the country's position has improved by over 30 spots in the past decade on TI's global corruption perception index, it still is in 87th place overall, or out of 180 ranks. So there's a new target, and the Communist Party is leading it. And the head of the party says that each party cadre and member needs to shoulder the responsibility of becoming a role model. The higher position and rank, the more responsibility one must take. So, Communist Party in Vietnam leading yet another. And of course, Elizabeth Holmes from the New York Times. She's asked for a new trial, claiming that one of the witnesses is sorry for his testimony. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.